high-stakes theater of the Dubai Airshow, the HAL Tejas LCA was India's shining symbol, the answer to decades of dependence, the spearhead of the Make in India defense dream. Then, in a terrifying instant, the dream hit the desert floor. The crash of the Tejas Mk-1 was more than just a technical failure. It was a crisis of confidence played out live on the global stage. As the smoke cleared, the world began asking, does this failure ground India's ambition to be a defense exporter? And how does the collapse of one aircraft change the calculus of future wars?
The Dubai Airshow is not merely a showcase of aircraft. It is a cutthroat marketplace and a high-stakes demonstration of national technological prowess. When an Indian Air Force, IAF, HAL Tejas Light Combat Aircraft, LCA, Mk-1 crashed tragically during an aerobatic display on Friday, November 21, 2025. It was more than a technical failure. It was a highly visible, live-action catastrophe on the world stage. The crash, which resulted in the fatal loss of the pilot, Wing Commander Namansh Syal, instantly halted the flying display and cast a heavy shadow over India's decades-long project to achieve self-reliance in aerospace manufacturing. For the Tejas, India's symbol of Make in India in defense, the incident at the very venue intended to secure its global export future has triggered a crisis of confidence, both at home and abroad. The Tejas Mk-1 was performing a low-altitude aerobatic display, showcasing the jet's signature maneuverability. Eyewitness accounts and video footage suggest the crash occurred during a complex, low-level maneuver, potentially a negative G-turn, shortly after the aircraft began to lose altitude rapidly and failed to recover before impacting the ground. The Tejas program is central to India's strategy to replace its aging fleet of Soviet-era fighters, like the MiG-21s, and establish itself as a global defense exporter. The crash delivers a severe setback across three main dimensions: operational safety, indigenous development credibility, and financial markets. The question of war machine capability and reliability. The true test of a fighter jet is its reliability and survivability in a combat zone. The crash forces a critical reassessment of the Tejas's readiness for high-intensity conflict. Operational scrutiny. The core issue isn't just that the jet crashed, but that it happened while performing a basic, though demanding, aerial display. This raises immediate, critical questions about its flight control system and its safety margins when pushed to its limits. Precisely the conditions a fighter faces in combat. Systemic deficiencies. The Tejas Mk-1 is a 4.5 generation fighter, but critics have long pointed to its underpowered American GE F404 engine, a key bottleneck in the decades-long development, and a lower payload gyre endurance compared to direct competitors like the Saab Gripen or F-16. While the Mk-1A variant is designed to address these flaws with better radar and electronic warfare suites, the crash impacts the entire brand. Ability to win wars. A fighter's capability is measured by its mission success rate and availability, serviceability. A visible failure raises doubts about the aircraft's structural integrity and long-term operational availability. In a potential conflict, commanders must have absolute confidence that a machine will not fail at a critical high-G moment. This crash momentarily erodes that critical confidence. Setback to the Make in India and defense export push. The Dubai Airshow was a major opportunity to convert strong international interest into firm orders, particularly from budget-conscious nations in Southeast Asia and Africa. Reputational damage. Defense exports are driven by trust and confidence. Buyers in the highly competitive global market, who have alternatives like the Chinese JF-17 or the Korean FA-50, will now use the Dubai crash as a major negotiating point or a reason to walk away. The sight of the burning wreckage is a potent negative advertising image. Lost opportunities. India had been aggressively pursuing deals with countries like the Philippines, Malaysia, and potentially the UAE itself. The crash severely complicates ongoing negotiations.
as potential buyers, may demand a lengthy, transparent investigation and proof of corrective measures before committing billions of dollars. Financial impact. Shares of the manufacturer, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, often face immediate selling pressure following such high-profile incidents, reflecting the market's immediate assessment of the program's reputational and commercial risk. The crash introduces a volatility factor into India's defense stock and export revenue forecasts. Domestic squadron strength and delays. The IAF relies heavily on the Tejas to fill the gap left by its retiring MiG-21 fleet. Delays and setbacks in the Tejas program directly impact India's military readiness. The Mark 1A order. The IAF recently placed a mega order for the improved Tejas Mk-1A jets. If the official court of inquiry, COI, uncovers a fundamental flaw in design or manufacturing relevant to the core airframe, the production and delivery schedule for the entire Mk-1A fleet could face substantial, expensive delays. The global community views the Tejas crash through a geopolitical and commercial lens. The reaction is a blend of sympathy for the pilot, commercial opportunism from rivals, and strategic concern from allies. Commercial rivals, opportunism, and amplification. In the ruthless defense market, competitors will inevitably leverage the crash. China and South Korea, nations marketing jets like the JF-17, China, Pakistan, and the FA-50, South Korea, are direct competitors for the same export market segment, affordable 4 to 4.5 Gen fighters. The crash provides them with powerful negative talking points about the Tejas's reliability and safety record to sway potential buyers. Western suppliers, established suppliers like the US, France, and Sweden offering the F-16, Rafale, and Gripen respectively, will subtly highlight the proven combat record, safety history, and institutional maturity of their products versus India's relatively young indigenous program. Allies and strategic partners, concern over capability. India's strategic partners, especially those looking to collaborate on defense manufacturing, like the U.S. with its GE engine supply for the Tejas and potential co-production of fighter components, will be watching the investigation closely. GE F404, F414 engines. The Tejas relies on American engines. If the crash is linked to an engine failure, it could complicate future technology transfers, including the proposed deal for the more powerful GE F414 engine for the Tejas Mk-2 variant. The U.S. will be keen to ensure the fault is not attributed to their component and that proper safety and maintenance protocols are followed. Credibility of indigenous design. The world watches India's Aeronautical Development Agency, ADA, and HAL. A quick, transparent, and technically robust investigation that clearly identifies the root cause and outlines verifiable corrective actions will be crucial to mitigating the damage. The perception of Indian engineering maturity. For decades, India has been synonymous with high-end IT services and software engineering. The Tejas project expertise into complex heavy metal the gold standard of engineering maturity. The crash poses a setback to this narrative, suggesting that while India excels in design and software, like the Tejas's advanced digital fly-by-wire system, the challenges of full-scale, quality-controlled, large-volume hardware production and integration remain significant hurdles. The Tejas crash demands a response that is as transparent as it is robust. India's ambition to become a credible world-class defense exporter hinges not on avoiding failure, but on how quickly and effectively it investigates this tragedy, implements verifiable corrective measures, and rebuilds trust. The eyes of global buyers, strategic allies, and commercial rivals are watching. We want to hear from you. What specific steps must the Indian government and HAL take now to restore confidence in the Tejas program and secure India's defense future? Share your insights in the comments below and subscribe for continued critical analysis of this crucial investigation. Did this analysis shake your confidence in the Tejas Or are you still optimistic about the program? Let us know your thoughts below. If you found this deep dive valuable, please help the channel. Like this video to support our detailed research. Share it with anyone interested in defense technology and India's future. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next critical geopolitical analysis. Thanks for being part of the discussion.